Hey everybody, it's GauntletX, and welcome back to another premiere draft of Amonkhet Remastered, the flashback draft format for the week. Without further ado, let's get into the pack one, pick one with a sweet opening pack as always. River Hoopoe's a great card. Solid reason to play a green-blue rampy kind of value-focused deck, but we also have a good aggressive black rare, a 1-mana 2-1 that can keep coming back from the grave to the battlefield once you run out of cards in hand, once you run out of stuff to do, so that's a really nice ability as well. And the last deck we played was a pure green-blue kind of grindy value sort of deck here, so we'll take the Dread Wanderer for some variety, but I think either of these are great pack one pick ones. Even Exemplar is solid, the cartouche there is solid, really good pack all around. This pack is also pretty excellent too. Great ramp cards. The Shefet Monitor, getting you some extra mana there, and being your 6/5 to cast, or the Vizier of Tumbling Sands. This ramps you up, but also gives your best creature vigilance, basically. Pretty flexible card. Aven Initiate's great. A 2-for-1, you get a 3/2 flyer, and then you get another one later when you embalm this. And then Final Reward is pretty decent removal. It's still a bit expensive, but decent removal in a format that has Embalm and Eternalize to resurrect things from graves. So Final Reward would be fine just to go with Dread Wanderer, but I think I'm going to go for Raw Power and take one of these three, and I'll go for the Vizier here. I like the flexibility on the card. And we get Rags to Riches towards playing a blue-black deck. Don't mind if I do. This is one of the infinite board wipes in this format that also lets you steal one of your opponent's creatures with Riches. So the ideal way that you get to use this card, because your opponent picks what you're giving or what you're getting from them, is you really want to be able to cast Rags and then immediately cast Riches the next turn. That way they only have one opportunity to draw into a weak creature, because Rags is going to clear out all of their little dirtily 2 toughness or less creatures, and then Riches gets to steal whatever's left over. So Rags to Riches, pretty strong card here. Happy to take that and try to go for a blue-black deck here. But Desert's Hold is also ridiculously good removal. Open Fire's fine. Essence Scatter's fine. I think those are the next best 3 cards, but decided to go for Rags to Riches on this one. Pick 4. Bounce spells played pretty well in the format with all the Embalm and Eternalize tokens and stuff. This is also a really strong aggro pack. The best aggro stuff in the format being the Boros stuff, primarily the white stuff with Exert like Gustwalker. So Gustwalker, Honored Crop Captain are sweet, sweet aggro cards. Could go for like black-white aggro off Gustwalker and Dread Wanderer in the same deck. Captain might be the strongest card, but we'd have to ditch all 3 of these if we pivot towards the Boros. And deserts are also great. There's a lot of cards that benefit from deserts on the border in the grave, that benefit from when you cycle cards, and it's just really nice to not flood out as often. So Desert the Mindful also really high picks. So these 2 blue spells, pretty solid. Gustwalker, Honored Crop Captain, a little stronger, not a ton. I'm going to go for the Desert here. Pick 5, there we go. There's an Essence Scatter. Great spell for a more controlling blue-black deck, which looks like where we would like to head. That's where Rags to Riches is going to be its most powerful. The rest of this pack is like actively bad this time, which is good. The only other viable card I think really is On Crop Champion. Everything else is like your 22nd, 23rd filler playable. Nice, okay. We're in a great spot for blue-black. We get Consigned to Oblivion, which is basically just the better version of Winds of Rebuke. You get the 2-mana bounce, whatever non-land permanent you want, but you also get a 5-mana discard too, which is expensive, but it's tacked on to an already efficient spell. So you just do that when you don't have anything else to do and get farther ahead in value. Like that a lot. There's also Desert the Mindful and Essence Scatter both being great here as well, and Aerial Guide not bad at all. Pick 7, this pack is really good. Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs is a nice card to take early because it fits into any deck well, because you always want to take a couple deserts. And this is a really fine early blocker that keeps pinging for damage throughout the game. But since we're already in Dimir, pretty locked in, I'd rather take the Aven Initiate here. This draw spell is also pretty decent too. The Illumination, when you care about cycling, it's really good. But I like the Aven Initiate for, again, just 2 flyers off the 1 spell. Just plays really, really nicely. Pick 8, Ipnu Rivulet is really great, letting all of your random deserts give you a backup win condition. If you're in a really slow, grindy matchup, each player can get down to pretty low cards in deck where the Rivulet can single-handedly mill somebody out. You don't even need to run any other random mill cards for it, and it doesn't take up the slot of any non-land card here. We just swap an island out for it, and we're really happy. Pick number 9, another Desert the Mindful is fantastic. Wall would be decent here too. I'm going to take these deserts super duper highly now that we have a rivulet as well. Pick 10, another Aven Initiate. Really happy to see that late. Looks like a fantastic draft pod for blue here. Blue-black as a color pair feels open. Rags was somewhat late. Consign was very late for how good that card is. But other than that, we haven't seen much black. So black as an individual color might not be that open, even if nobody else is in specifically Dimir. So still interested in keeping that second color a little open in our heads. If something else pops up as looking particularly powerful, we can drop Rags and Dread Wanderer towards it. So I'll still play Consign to Oblivion. That's pretty easily splashable, because you never need the black mana for the card to be fine. Pack 2, pick 1. What have we got? Horror of the Broken Lands for blue-black cycling. Hieroglyphic Illumination for a good blue draw spell. Good for the cycling deck as well. Trial of Strength and Cartouche of Strength for the really good, trial plus cartouche value combos where you pick up your trials over and over. Those are nice cards. Cast Out's a really good removal spell. Collected Company, you have to build around it a lot, and I don't think it works well with the blue, because all my favorite blue creatures are pretty expensive in this format. They're 4 mana Aven Initiates, 5 mana Shimmer Scale Drakes. This could be good in maybe like green-white or something, where you have a bunch of great 2-drops, but even if I end up playing green, I don't think Collected Company is actually good in the blue-green color pair. There's a ton of ways to go this pack. I think I'll play it safe here. Hieroglyphic Illumination should be pretty solid no matter what. Speaking of solid no matter what, as a pack 1, pick 1, I love Sunset Pyramid. Huge value play throughout the whole game in any color pair at all. But even when I'm already locked in on blue here, like, this is still such good value. I don't mind taking it over really just good aggressive white creatures. I am taking it over a Striped Riverwinder. I like this a lot as a finisher in blue, shutting off all the removal spells with hexproof. It plays really well with blue's cartouche that sends it into the sky too. I do like Riverwinder a lot. That's actually kind of a hard choice. I might go Riverwinder over that, considering blue is already a color with really good card advantage, potentially at its disposal, but Sunset Pyramid is great generically. There's no chance that it wheels. Riverwinder could. I'm going to take the Pyramid still. Blue has been really open. Pick 3 Lay Claim. Fantastic. This is a removal spell and a bomb all in one. It's a fantastic 2-for-1. It's as good as a 2-for-1 can possibly get. You are eliminating their best, most scariest threat that's about to kill you. And now you have their best, most scariest threat that's about to kill them. And they're going to have to do something to deal with whatever you stole. Love Lay Claim. It's a whole ton of mana, but a very powerful card. Pick 4, another Hieroglyphic Illumination looks good here. As Foretold is very fun, but it doesn't really do anything in draft. It's a really fun card to build around in Constructed, though. So it sits there getting counters over the turns and lets you cast something for free if its mana value is less than or equal to the number of counters on it. So the turn you play it, you can cast a 0-drop immediately. So it's really good with like suspend cards that technically have 0 mana in their cost. Pick 5. Pretty decent instant and sorcery count right now to pivot to the blue-red spells deck with Enigma Drake as a finisher. I've also already got a red desert. The black cards we've been seeing again have been relatively mediocre later in the packs, so I don't mind taking Enigma Drake for... It's a little speculative here. We're not locked in on blue-red or anything, but blue-red looks like a fine spot to take this draft, so we'll take the Enigma Drake. Another Aven Initiate looks awesome. Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs looks fine, particularly because I have a really, really small amount of creatures and no 2-mana creatures, so the curve's pretty bad here, but I think Initiate is super great. So I'm just going to take a bunch of those. Here's a Seeker for a good 2-drop creature. Ramunap Ruins is very similar to the Ipnu Rivulet. Really nice to have these deserts to end the game later, but obviously this is much better in a more aggressive deck. We're going to be pretty control-y. Pick 8, Winds of Rebuke looks awesome. Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs also looks really good. Give us some more chunky blockers early. Windsor Rebuke seems kind of perfect if we go Enigma Drake. It's also just good with the Aven Initiates, where we're bouncing something, slowing our opponent down, but also milling towards Embalm cards. Yeah, Winds actually has a lot of good synergy here, it looks like. That's a late hero, and I'm not that excited about... Kenra's probably better than Pathmaker here for sure, for the prowess, but still not that excited about it, so I'll keep the black path open. I'll make a stack of red and a stack of black and pick in the last pack, I think. We're so deep into blue, and blue is so open. I don't think we're going to have a problem making playables, even if I delay the decision on the second color until pack 3. Yeah, because we wield the Riverwinder. That makes me so happy that I picked the Pyramid. We just get both cards. That's beautiful. Wow, blue is open. Seeker of Insight or Essence Scatter 3. Probably should take more cheap blockers, but I love Essence Scatter. I mean, if we go blue-black, I've got a board wipe to make up for not putting anything on the board early. And if I go blue-red, then I probably end up with a little bit of cheap burn, a little bit of early blockers. So hopefully my secondary color can help fill out the early game a little bit more. Okay, I could get a second Consign to Oblivion for the blue-black deck, or I could get a Wrath of God and just go white here. That'd be very powerful too. I like taking a consecutive sign and going blue-black. Let's grab Consign to Oblivion, copy number 2. Well, 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 guess who could have had a board wipe in blue-red also? Me. The Sweltering Suns. But that's okay. We have Eternal of Harsh Truths that still looks pretty good here. Obviously, if it gets in and it's not blocked, it's fantastic. Just draw cards over and over. Magma Spray is also like crazy good cheap removal, but I've got a lot of bounce stuff going on here. Winds, double Consign, then I've got the Rags. I'm locking in. I'm sticking blue-black here. I'm sticking to it. Take the Eternal of Harsh Truths. Another very good pack here, pack 3, pick 3, between Desert the Mindful, Shimmer Scale Drake, and Cartouche of Knowledge. All of those are fantastic. I really like the Shimmer Scale Drake's body here. If I could use more deserts to go with Rivulet, I mean, it's not necessary. It's still good with just a few. I don't have any other cards that really care about the deserts. I'm going to go Shimmer Scale here. I think that card's very good. If I had a single trial, I would also take that Cartouche insanely highly. Pick 4, Cartouche of Ambition and Splendid Agony are both fantastic, as is Riverwinder, Seeker, but these cards are much more likely to wheel, based on what we've seen. In a deck that's more creature heavy, I think Cartouche of Ambition is better, but in this deck, where we're a little light on those early plays, we'll take the Splendid Agony and get the double -1/-1. Pick number 5, Desert of the Glorified, Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs, Essence Scatter, Cartouche of Knowledge. Tons of great options every pack. Feels like an awesome spot to be this draft. I've got triple Essence Scatter. I think I could ignore the 4th. I have no trials to go with the Cartouches and not a lot of cheap creatures for them. I'm going to go for the wall here and get a little more early blocks going. Pick 6. Oh, man. Blue is so astronomically open, we get an incredible trial here. 4 mana, draw 3, discard 1, and redo it every Cartouche we play, but I just passed up on like 3 Cartouches because I'm like, it's pack 3. It's pack 3 and I have no trials. I'm not going to get the Cartouches for them, and then I just get the perfect trial. That's a bummer. I might wheel some blue Cartouches. Like, we still got a shot here. I don't think I wheel the black ones, but I might wheel some of the blue ones. I actually like the card selection of Seeker of Insight a little bit more than the ping of Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs in this deck, I think. Because we can also like draw a card, discard an Aven Initiate in this deck with triple Initiate. I do have 1 Seeker. I might get more late. We saw some of those in the other packs. Wow, another Rivulet too? Jeez. Alright. We could have had 3 Rivulets. I took Rivulet over Trial in that other pack too. This is just a beautiful draft pod to be in blue, that's for sure. Pick 9, another Riverwinder, come on in. Yeah, if I wheel any of the blue cartouches, I've got two really good combos for them. Obviously the trials are great, but giving a Riverwinder flying is insane. Putting almost any cartouche on a Riverwinder is ridiculous. Particularly the blue and the black ones are really good. If you give it lifelink or if you give it flying. It's a ridiculous hexproofy body. Pick 10 has nothing in it. Let's rare draft. Okay, I already have 4 of everything. You can hold down that Alt key if you're interested in checking how many you have in your collection when you're drafting. Super late Desert the Mindful, but it doesn't look like we're getting any cartouches back. 4 mana draw 3 discard 1 is still a very playable draw spell in this format without any cartouches, so I might still run it. But I am very sad about that. Because again, it came right after we had an opportunity to take 2 or 3 cartouches in a row. Very happy we were able to Secret of Insight. I think this card's really good with all these initiates. Okay. Alright, so we get to cut 7 cards out of here, which is kind of a lot. I'm going to have to cut cards that I like, sadly. We can definitely cut Seer of the Last Tomorrow. I don't care that much about the mill. And Miasmic Mummy, I'm just not a big fan of this card, forcing each player discard. Like, technically, it has synergy in this deck. You're supposed to like play it with good Embalm cards and stuff, where you discard Embalm and hope you get something important from them, but I don't think that's very good. The rest of the creatures, I think I keep. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We don't need to be super creature high or super creature heavy in blue-black, but I still like all of these other creatures quite a bit, so I'm going to leave them all in. It's 5 cuts to go. I've got Trial of Knowledge for excellent card draw. Sunset Pyramid's pretty great too. I think I can ditch the 2 Illuminations on that front. I also have a lot of cycling going on if I have the wrong card at the wrong time. There's a lot of flexibility in our draws. Some cycling lands to help as well, in terms of a little bit of card draw. And I still have to cut 3 more cards. I like Winds of Rebuke a lot in this deck. Being able to mill an Initiate or a Consign to Oblivion while bouncing is great. Love the double Consign to Oblivion for sure. The Rags to Riches is incredible. Trial's great card draw. Lay Claim's absurd. Splendid Agonies are only removal for cheap cards. So that leaves Essence Scatters as the only real flex spot. But this is also our only way to deal with like really big creatures outside of just bouncing them and late claiming them. Maybe we do go pretty creature light here. Oops. I'm definitely playing both Riverwinders. If I had to cut some creatures here because of how much I like Essence Scatter in this deck, the worst creatures would be Horror. Maybe Eternal of Harsh Truths. It might be a little difficult to get this attacking through and getting the draws off of it, but it'll be insanely good when we get it in. We're not very aggressive, so Dreadwinder goes down a little bit in value, but okay, it actually goes down a lot in value. So, I mean, the main thing that's easy to think about is that, like, we're not that aggressive, right? So, like, just a little 2-1 that trades off really doesn't matter too much. Being able to recast it a bunch in the late game would still be pretty good, but the other problem about that is we're a good kind of value sort of deck. We got Sunset Pyramid drawing cards, we got Trial of Knowledge drawing cards, we're recasting stuff from the graveyard. It's going to be a little harder for this deck to have 1 or less cards in hand than most, so we're actually not even recasting it that often. So I think if we're cutting creatures instead of scatters, it's probably these. I think I like Eternal enough to try to gamble on getting that damage in and cut 1 scatter for that, but we will do that. And keep the rest of the creatures like this. Looks solid to me. Pretty excited about this one. So let's just wrap it up, call it a deck here, and hop right into the gameplay. Alright, here we are on the play for game 1. So this is a mono blue hand, but we only have 2 black spells in the whole deck. We have Rags to Riches and Splendid Agony. Everything else is castable off blue. Like a couple flashbacks I can do, but I like getting the Sunset Pyramid out immediately. That's going to let us hold up Scatter on future turns while drawing a card every time we don't do it. playing against a disproportionately massive amount of Boros this time around, and it's getting on my nerves a tiny bit here. What do we do here? 1-3. I think I do plop this down. That forces an exert from our opponent. I mean, I could double activate Sunset Pyramid if I hit land 4, which is pretty wild. By untapping that. Yep, exert Entangler, fair enough. We take the damage. Down to 16, there's Kenra Scrapper. There's a missed land drop. Alright, Riverwinder, find me the land, please. Thank you. Very cool. Alright, so I can Pyramid plus Scatter here. I could just play an Ava Initiate or a Trial of Knowledge. I think we're going draw 1 plus Scatter. Take 2 from the Scrapper because the Menace. Oh, they're going to exert it? Sure. Take 4. Down to 12. Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs. No desert on board or in their grave yet. I think I have to let it resolve. In case they have a scarier follow-up play. Find Consign. That's interesting. I'm under enough pressure to just use this mana to cast this. To force a recast over there. Let's go on the Entangler here. Okay, I do have the 5 mana to Oblivion and make them discard 2, but I do not think I can afford to not impact the board here. And they have 2 mana up to if they want with, so they can just tap Vizier if I hold it up as a blocker. So I think I'm using Vizier for mana right now. For Trial, I guess. No, I should probably still do Initiate, but then they just tap Initiate with Fanbearer instead. I guess I can do it like this, and then when they go to tap Initiate with Fanbearer, or when they go to tap Vizier with Fanbearer, I can use the Vizier to untap my land. Yeah, because if they go to tap the Initiate, I can just untap the Initiate instead. Yeah, Sunset Pyramid plays so well with Essence Scatters. It's pretty nice to have the Sunset Pyramid triple scatter deck. I think I can afford it now. Also Initiate and have Scatter up. Yeah, I'll go Initiate, hold up Scatter, Pyramid if I don't. Now I have the double block for Kenra Scrapper. Ooh, that is rough. They did hit the desert for the wall, so I'm on a 10-turn clock. Land Oketra's Avenger. Yep. Compulsory rest. Alright, well, we're not getting anything out of Oblivion. Shoot. Rough. Even play around the scatter here. Go for a tap this turn instead. I mean, not that that's like super playing around scatter, it's also just fine on board, but it does happen to play really well against the scatter. Okay, so for 2 mana, I can just counter this Entangler. Don't worry about that part. 6 life. Do I need to gain the 2 immediately, or should I draw the card? I'm gonna draw the card. That's funny. Okay. Rags is kind of legit. I want to wait for Entangler for that, so we don't hold up Scatter now. I go Trial of Knowledge plus sack and initiate the gain 2. It feels like the play. Still gotta deal with the Scrapper though. The Scrapper and the Wall both survive. Can steal one of them with Riches eventually. If I scatter this, I get them to a bomb before I rags. I think I need the life badly enough, though, to sack for the life here. That way I can rags and play another blocker next turn. Technically have a double block up. Okay, no, because Fanbearer can hit Vizier, though, so I won't have a double block up. Is there any point on tapping anything here? I don't have any instant speed stuff I'm spending mana on, so no. I'm hoping to draw land, so I can go rags creature. And of course I did not draw land, so I have to go rags scatter. This one counter Scrapper has just been such a big deal. 4 damage plus the wall ping puts me to 2 here. And then the wall finishes it off. I can't cast that because I'm a mana off. I'm like literally a mana off from like, that's such like a winning play too. It's technically castable, but if I cast it, my Vizier is tapped, so I don't have a blocker up because I cast it on Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs, get pinged for 1 by the wall, and then die to the cat. Or I cast it on the cat, Get pinged by the pharaohs, get pinged by the pharaohs, die. But like if it resolved here, if I had time to be at 1 life post-resolution, I would have their wall, and then I could riches another creature, and then I have like 3 blockers up against the menace. Ah, that straight up would have been like winning. God dang it. Just trying to really make sure it's lethal here. Yeah, they just go ping ping. That's it. I have to draw a card off Pyramid and hope for something insane. This is the worst feeling in the world when it's like, okay, I'm up like 10 cards, but I just die next turn. I've just had a tiny bit more life total. We win the game so handedly if it goes any longer. I just don't have quite enough mana, quite enough life. That's Boros for you. Here we are for game 2. Sadly, 0-1. We got a pretty bad matchup out of the way right off the bat. A great Boros aggro deck with a bunch of menace threats. Okay. Start with Seeker of Insight. Playing against another blue deck. Blue-white it is. Play another Seeker of Insight. Sure, pretty happy with that. Dauntless Aven is the play. Dauntless Aven for Aven Initiate is a favorable trade for us since we can embalm ours and they can't embalm theirs. So I'll block if they send in. Sure. Trading it into a combat trick or impeccable timing or something is also favorable. But we just trade the flyers. They drop their own Aven Initiate, funny. So probably try to lay claim that eventually. Got a mill 12 just sitting here on this board if the game goes really long. Trial of Knowledge, draw 3, discard 1. Discard a Desert. Drop an Evolving Wilds. Let me find the second white source. Okay, we've got mill 16 for a long game. 1 land away from casting everything. Initiate for initiate, sure. Ominous Sphinx. We have found a better late claim target. And we found the mana. Let's go. Yoink. Poke. Not going to draw and discard here. I'm just happy to drop Riverwinder next turn. I'll push damage. Unquenchable Thirst. Well, Got a nice 2-for-1. We killed their scariest threat and drew a removal spell out of their hand off of our 1 Lake Lane. Vizier of Tumbling Sands. Hello there. I can discard this to a Seeker of Insights. I think I hold on to that. They have 21 cards left. I might start milling. I mean, if I once I'm out of Initiate mana, probably, but if it's between milling or playing an Initiate, I probably need to just keep playing Initiates. Slam in a Riverwinder. They take the 5. Here's an Initiate. Trial of Solidarity. Gets scarier the more creatures are on their board. They've got a decent amount here. I don't mind Initiate for Vizier. Keep some damage off us, but probably just take this. 4 mana up here. Curator of Mysteries. Oh, they've got great rares over there. Trial of Knowledge is these. Second big rare flyer is a problem. We have to double Initiate block that. If they don't have a cartouche to pick up their trials. If they have a cartouche, I have to chump a lot here. It is not going to be fun. Go to 12. So they're at 8, we're at 12. I have the double block for the Curator if they don't have removal or a cartouche. If they have a cartouche, they're picking up Trial of Knowledge and Trial of Solidarity, and that's really bad for me. They get a 6/5 Vigilant flying attacker, as well as all the ground troops sending in at the same time. I guess I still get the double block trade with the flyer, but I take a significant amount of damage on the ground. Yeah. Cartouche Trials is super deadly, and here it is. The blue cartouche to send the Vizier in the sky, the Trial of Solidarity for the big buff, send the whole team in. Vigilant 2. Astronomically bad for me. Oh my god, the combat trick too? To ruin the double block? I mean, that's just game. Brutal stuff from cartouches and trials. Yeah, Essence Scatter's way too late for the big flyers. When we can see if Trial does anything for us, but that is just awkward stuff, this game. Axe is not going to do it. It doesn't do anything to the Curator or the Vizier. Riverwinder doesn't block anything that matters. So just attack with it. And then rags and then die. Because they just ping me with wall twice, I go to 6. They kill me with 6 power in the sky. Yep, you got me. 0-2. Deck is way better than an 0-2 run, so I am very bummed out right now, but things have not lined up well. We were like a turn off from beating the Boros deck, but they were just slightly too fast. The Menace was super, super rough for us, and then that opponent just had a really, really explosive hand, having multiple bomb rare flyers as well as 2 trials with the cartouche for just a really rough amount of damage there. What can you do? We're 0-2 heading into game 3. 0-2 with a pretty great deck. Always feels super bad. Here we are on the play for game 3. Got some really good 7 drops in the hand, so obviously when I'm saying that, the hand is really slow, and we don't want to see our opponent beat Boros yet again. Okay, they're blue-red. That's a much slower red deck. Probably the slowest red deck. Still a red deck, though, so they are starting with the little 2-1 trample. We'll just consign that immediately and slow them down. There's an Initiate to give us a turn 4 play. That helps a ton. Play Initiate into Oblivion. Probably draw something else to cast by then. We're probably 0-3. Drakehaven is one of the most busted build-around cards they've ever printed. You just draft that and then anything that says cycling, and now every card in your deck is a 2-2 flyer plus draw a card. For 2 mana, you get to play a 2-2 flyer and draw a card. For 3 mana, there's some cards that cycle for 2. That's still a really good deal, and it's instant speed too. Yeah, it's one of the strongest rares in the whole format. God dang it. Again, this deck is maybe a little bit slow, but this was a really rough go of luck here. Playing against just 3 incredible decks in a row with really good openers here. I mean, turn 3 Drakehaven is just scoop for a lot of decks. It's not like I'm attacking through any drakes, so I might as well stop damage. And I have a chance of trying to steal theirs and use it against them, but obviously my deck isn't built around it, so I don't have nearly as many cyclers as I could have to really utilize it. That is our only hope here, is to steal the Drakehaven, so that's the plan. Thank goodness. Very lucky they didn't have another cycler, just go for another Drake there. So now we know they're not getting any more Drakes. We've had to spend a lot of cards to deal with this. You know, play all the lands towards the late claim, spend the late claim. So we are behind in cards still. If they have any bounce spells, that's pretty horrendous, because they just put the Drakehaven back in their hand and recast it. So that's another thing we're worried about. Seeker of Insight is actually cracked with a Drakehaven on board. Anytime I cast a non-creature spell, I draw a card, discard a card, make a Drake. If they have Essence Scatter, they definitely, yeah, use it here. Tragic. I'd trade Drake for Drake, but I might be getting towards an aggressive position here. Ooh, the Dean Worthy, that's pretty nice. I don't think it matters if I get this extra mana, but might as well. Just land 7 for our other initiate. Happier to trade Initiate for the Drake and recast it. Jesus, double Deem Worthy. We're playing against some just insane decks today. Drake Haven deck with 2 Deem Worthies in it? That is like such a great card in general, but just absurd in a Drake Haven deck. Initiate to trade with the Guardian, I guess. We're just full-on blocks after all these Deem Worthies. This is absurd. I mean, genuinely, what can you do? Might as well have a Scorpion God, too. Oh. Another Abrade. Well, that's how to go 0-3 with a great deck. Run into incredible deck. Bring your 8 out of 10 deck to the 10 out of 10 draft bod. Honestly, 11 out of 10. That was absurd. I mean, like, what what was everybody else in the pod taking? If they get Drake Haven, double Deem Worthy, double Abrade, Magma Spray, Scorpion God, like, oh my god. Thought this pod was good, but that one was insane. Yep. Super big bummer of a draft. I really don't think that's indicative of the quality of this deck. I think this is a quite solid little blue-black control deck here. It's a little bit low on the onboard interaction, but it still has double consign wins to slow things down, the 1 agony here. Yeah, I think the perfect version of this deck is probably down an Eternal and an Initiate for like a couple more Splendid Agonies, or Lethal Sting, or the 5-mana Exile a creature or something like that. But the way those games played out, like, we were just getting crushed. Even if we had a better curve, a better deck, anything like that. Just insane stuff from our opponents today. And that is all it takes to knock you out of a Premier Draft. 0-3. Yeah, honestly, I think this is better than our deck was last draft. And I think it's certainly much better than a lot of the Kaladesh drafts that we had that we went like 3 or 4 wins with. But I think it's a little bit better than even our first Amonkhet draft that did way better than this. We just had a bad lineup of opponents there. 0-3, it's going to be part of life, part of Magic. Sometimes you are the loser in the story. You are just the opponent in your opponent's dream draft. But that does it. That's all there is to it. That is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and are interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the link in the description below to the Twitch channel. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.